Okay. Instagram, you live. Facebook, no Facebook. YouTube, you're live. Happy Monday, y'all. Okay, it's Monday. It is, hi Becky, relatively 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week, my schedule officially shifts, which is cool. Also becomes a bit of a shenanigans in my house. So it's summer. I got my kids. Anyway, that's what's happening. So as you guys gather in the room, say hi, throw up a little emoji. Let me know how last week went, how you're doing, how you're feeling. It's a regular weekly tarot this week, right? So we're coming off of the energy of the new moon. We're making our way to the full moon. And so, hi, Callie. So I have lots of notes because there's other things happening this week also. Hi, Paula. But I am trying to keep to the hour for today and then get to our regular weekly tarot at the halfway mark so that we can see what this week brings us. Hi, you guys. So it's an intense period of time in the US. There was, it's a sad weekend again. And I don't want to get too mired in that because I don't want to get confused as to what we as unicorns are here to do, which is to expand, to heal, to aim at the highest expression of our soul in this lifetime. So if there's time, I will take questions at the very end for single card readings. We haven't had time for those in a while. This weekly is really about us connecting as a community of Unicorn Wellness Studio members, or for those who might be interested at some point, speaking about the energies of the week, of the astrology, of the moon cycles, and digging into the functional of like how it will affect us, how we can work with it, how we can harness it, or how we can balance it. So if there's time, I absolutely will. But in real honesty, in the last few weeks, there hasn't been time. And I'm trying to keep to my boundary set for the hour as well with the tarot and the community housekeeping and roundup. Okay. So here we go. So it's August 5th. This weekly reading is for August 5th through the 11th. Yes, Nicolina, I understood. Yes. So the single card tarot readings, if there is time at the end, then I will. I do a live weekly tarot reading at the halfway mark. And if there's time after that, I will. So August 5th through the 11th, that is this week. The moons are going to manage their way through Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius this week, okay? And this is, like last week, I hope you all experienced some of it. It was a sweeter week. And then this week, we go into a little, like, kind of stickiness, right? Libra's beautiful. Libra wants justice and fairness for all. But when looking at equality, it also looks at sensual pleasures of this lifetime. That's the other end of the scales. So we really will have, the hard thing about Libra is that Libra has a hard time making decisions because Libra is really trying to make the best decision possible and can become kind of perfectionist in its best decision, knowing there is no absolute, there is no perfection, there is no way to make the perfect decision. So I feel that like today and tomorrow, because the moon stays in its sign for 2.5 days, that we're really mulling over solutions for the highest and greatest good of all in all kinds of ways, right? We're looking at that as a culture and collectively. We're looking at that always as unicorns personally and interpersonally. So, yay, hi, you guys. So I feel like the next 2 days could be a little like maybe just to have some distance from people. Make sure you've got some journaling time. Make sure you get meditation time. Make sure you get time on the mat. Because I think trying to make a decision in the next few days is going to be like, trying to, oh God, terrible, lesser of two evils sort of things, but also understanding that you can't make a perfect decision. There's good, beautiful, big energy this week just based on the astrology alone and what's coming through. And we're going to talk about that too. But so today and tomorrow, I feel like this moon in Libra is a little like, just kind of go slow, just give yourself some distance. And I always kind of go like this, like give yourselves at least an arm's length energetically, literally from people, and make sure that we're bolstering our self-care and our unicorn practices. Then we move into Scorpio. Scorpio is always a little sticky, honestly. The Scorpio gets a bad rap, but it's intense. And so intensity as a human can be a little sticky. Scorpio is all about the depths of the emotion, the real deep stuff. And some of it, the deep stuff is dark, right? So we always talk about the ocean and the bottom of the ocean and being willing to delve the depths of the ocean for our healing. There's another reason, again, we'll get to it, as to why midweek, or this week could feel pretty intense. And I'm not putting a label of whether that's good or bad, or whether this is like, it's intense, and intensity is beautiful, but energetically can be depleting. Right? If the highest of highs, then there's got to be a low from it. So then we move into Sag, and Sag energy is got all the endurance. It's exciting. It's enthusiastic. It's full force, like running at something. So I feel like this week energetically is big, a little intense, and really just needs our anchoring, because otherwise I think we are going to get swept away in stuff. I think we could get swept away in sadness and what hasn't been yet, and all of the fail points of our humanity, rather than looking at the intensity of these precipices of the transition into higher realms, into higher energy, into better than it's ever been before. I think that's like all the feels right now of these transitions and of these energies coming in. Okay. So Mercury's still in shadow. Hooray. We're seeing that. Hi, Instagram and Facebook being down over the weekend. The energies that are coming through are bigger. They're just bigger. So I feel like the things that go wrong are bigger, and the things that go right are bigger. So that's happening. Mercury won't be out of its shadow until next week. So next week I'm excited, because on next Monday it'll be our full moon ritual, because the full moon happens towards the end of the week, and Mercury's out of shadow. So I feel like next week's gonna like be big too. Like we're these tidal waves, right? It's like we get the swells, and then we're like, oh, okay. And I feel like last week was a little bit of okay, and now we're headed towards another crest again. Okay. Hi, Kayla. So there's a lot happening this week. I always try to figure out the best linear path to walk you through these bits, knowing there is no perfect path. Right, you guys? Okay, let's see here. Yeah, okay. I want to do some basics first, and then I'm going to go back to the astrology. So this week, your newsletter went out for those of you who are members of unicornwellness.studio. If you're not a member, you can still get the newsletter. There's a link below in the description. Always, there's a link on my channel. There's a link in Instagram that you can sign up for the newsletter. There's so much goods in it, and we go in depth into the new moon specifically, because the newsletter comes out at the new moon, with little teasers and little drips about the full moon, but we tend to cover the full moon in YouTube and on Instagram. So the newsletter went out, but there's some real goodies in there. So if you haven't read it yet, go back and read your newsletter. If you want to read it at the end of this YouTube, when I go back and post it in perpetuity, I'll have the live link to this month's newsletters also. And on Instagram, I try to keep it in the Instagram story so you can just scroll up to read it. In the newsletter. Okay, what's going on there? You have member benefits, and if you're listening to this, you get the benefit too. So it's kind of like a little sneaky side door. K-Deer leggings, K-Deer athletic wear. I love them. They gave us a code to use for 15% off a entire purchase through August 31st. So this is your last month to use it. Go use it. I'm not usually one that pushes, for spending your cash. And I'm not pushing. This is an offer, and I don't want you to miss it, because I don't know if we'll get to do it again or when it will happen again. Their leggings are wonderful. They're made in the US. I know their founder. The quality. These are the real deal that will last a lifetime. So really, if you're interested in it, you can use code unicorn15, all capitals, at K-Deer when you check out online for 15% off all the way through this month. In the newsletter also, morphologically, our aromatherapy partner, she always has a code for the unicorns in the newsletter for 20% off her unbelievable, yummy, and healing products. So make sure you go find the newsletter, read the newsletter to get that code. And for those of you who are not members yet at unicornwellness.studio, so in August, the incentive to give it a try, because you're lurking, you're interested, but you're like, I don't get how this all relates to the astrology astrology or me or self-care or healing, best way to figure it out is to give it a try. And I'm totally willing to let you try it for free. If you become a member in August, this month, I'm trying to figure out what month it is, use the code GIMME, GIMME, DA, band, BAND, all together, all capitals. You will get your first 30 days free on the site to give it a whirl, see if it works. I will send you a free resistance band, my personal favorite band. And this is simply an incentive. So it's $42 worth of value for free, because I want to invest in you all. And I think it's nice to have one of the props to get started with. The band is highly, I think, underutilized for fitness and healing and wellness. And that's the incentive this month. So if you want to give it a try, you want to see what the workouts are about, how they keep you grounded, how they expand and balance your ascension, then try it for free and I'll send you a band within your 30 days. Okay. What else? I think that's it. Your workouts this week start to, up in intensity because we're coming off of the new moon. So we're out of our constructive rest week. The video that's up today, tomorrow, and the next day, because this is new workout day, there's a new video of the day today, is full core. So there's a lot of core focus still in August. We're half, Leo season still, but there's a lot of focus on the solar plexus and feeling anchored. Grounding happens at the root and the sacral chakras. We know that, but I still feel like there is so much grounding to be had from your solar plexus. This is digestion. This is the seat of manifestation. This is the seat of our confidence, and this is really what Leo rules. So when energies are intense and our digestion is off and it's like I can't digest what's literally happening in the world, we need to be anchored and rooted at our core. Hear that, because I mean that as spirit and soul as well. And so there's going to be multiple, I think, full core workouts that you'll see from now to the end of the month, but there's always a lot of core in what we do, but this month has a highlight on it and you will definitely see it. So the core work today, go get it. Sign into the site, unicornwellness.studio, use one of the codes, go try it for free. Like really, if there's no weird scammy thing about it, give it a whirl, don't like it, cancel it. It's okay. Hi, Valerie. Okay, so I think that's all of the basics for this week. It's a lot of basics, right? Yeah, those are the functional basics. So then, yeah, you guys, unicorns, y'all love this full core. You wouldn't like the work that I teach if you didn't. But this one's pretty yummy. And I don't mean like easy, like, oh, it was so stretchy and yummy. You're like, yeah, I did that. I totally did that. So here's the next biggest thing this week, okay? We're coming off of eclipse energy. We had our first new moon after it. It's Leo, so that's always big, right? 8/8, August 8th, is the Lionsgate Portal. And so as unicorns, you all are usually learning a lot of these things right along. And then some of y'all come in and go, I know about this. But I always start from like a basics beginner without it getting too heavy and maybe even too far down the rabbit hole. Lionsgate Portal, it happens every year on 8/8. But this has everything to do with the sun and the star Sirius, that they rise together, and mystics, spiritual, ascension process, they line up with the pyramids, number one. So there's this extra layer to it. Believed that these two rising together were literally the gateway to the heavens. Okay. So energetically, what does that mean? Energetically, it means that we're getting big energy coming through. Hooray. But we have to be able to manage it. We have to be able to anchor it. We have to be able to channel it. We have to be able to ground it, which is where our practical tactics of getting on the mat and meditating come into play. And our foods, I think, are playing a specific role this month because of the solar plexus energy and because it deals with the stomach and digestion, that's going to take a hit and we need to be aware of it. That this Lionsgate Portal energy really began last week, I think on the 26th, and will continue through August 12th. So the highlight, moment is on 8/8, right? So what does this mean? This means a lot of things just increase because the energy that's coming through is bigger. But it is believed to be the gateway to heaven. So things that we can really, anchor into and welcome and expect to a certain extent is heightened messaging, heightened psychic capacities and abilities, and asking the questions and really finding answers or feeling the aha moment and the breakthrough within this week. It's been happening. I mean, if y'all are practicing, you're on the mat, you're in your meditation, you were showing up for, these trackings of looking at what the energy is doing in the astrology and listening to the tarot readings and really trying to work with these in a practical, functional way of like, how can I approach something differently in order to get a different, better result? How can I drop some things and not carry the weight of it? How can I open my heart? How can I heal more, right? Then this week offers just another level of that opportunity. You don't need to do extra things when we have these big energetic, shifts and openings in things. But what you do need to do is anchor and double down in the practical tactics of the Unicorn Wellness Studio. This is really what those tactics are there for. They're there for preparation, but then they're there for when the big energies happen, that we're ready to work with them and not be capsized by them. So anytime energetic, big energies, it's okay, Charlotte, you're never late. As long as you show up. When these big energies come through as a physical body, we tend to get anxiety. It can mount as depression. Extreme fatigue is kind of the biggest one where you're like, dude, I just feel wiped out. And then the other one is digestive issues, because our digestive system is literally trying to synthesize these bigger, newer energies. And we're like, what the? So when that happens, this again is why the reset is there and available to members of Unicorn Wellness Studio, is that if you've done the reset prior to these big energies, you know what to anchor back into and what your food code is if you're not currently living and abiding by it. You also have all of these tactics of this is the time when digestion things are a little wonky, that we kind of go to smoothies and more easier to process nutrients. Like we need high density, high volume alkalization, like high quality nutrients, but sometimes digesting food is like too much. And it's summer in the Northern Hemisphere, so this is a good time to do that. I will say that in the smoothies, sometimes I add, the grass-fed collagen so that we've got more of those amino acids and more of the proteins, depending on your food code. Soups, yes, absolutely, but it's hot. I don't know where you are in the world, but it's so hot in Brooklyn that I'm not putting a soup in my mouth. No way. Unless it's cold soup. Gazpacho? Yeah. Because this is also about, how to balance a physical body. If it's hot outside, we need to put cooler and cooling foods on the inside to help balance the temperament. When things get hot, we don't want to amp up the heat. In the winter, we want these heating elements, right? So this is a time for mint. This is a time for all the greens. This is a time for white rice because that's cooling to the system. Any foods that are green or white, good to go. And again, the peppermint is like the big one, and greens are the big one. Sprouts would be wonderful also in this time. And I'm really big on cilantro right now because it helps take out some of the heavy metals in the system. So these are all ways to help navigate the energies functionally for the physical body, because we will have physical reactions to things, and emotional reactions and energetic reactions. They're all energetic reactions to things. So headaches are kind of a thing when you're getting this amplified psychic energy and these higher volume energies come through. So although Unicorn Wellness Studio is like unbelievably practical in its application, I'm Melissa. We also need to know that we are looking at both the energetic and the practical sides at all times, and how to manage a human physical body, our emotions, while we're going through these shifts and bits. So like you can look at the practices as purely functional, 3D, food, water, shelter, fitness, nutrition, movement, great. But also understand that like they're deeply knitted with these energetic shifts that are happening. The movements that I choose for you on the mat have everything to do with synthesizing and alchemizing the energies coming through, allowing us to heal at, I don't want to say faster, because it's not a race to heal, and healing takes its own amount of time. But where we are as a culture, where we are as a collective, we do need to be doing these things as efficiently and as quickly as possible while giving ourselves grace and empathy. We know there were 2 shootings over the weekend in the US, and like we've got to evolve. And the only way to really help and assist is to evolve ourselves, to allow for healing in ourselves. And that is going to make us like, we got to stop being lazy about the things that we're doing. And we have to start taking action in our own frequency, because that does matter. Little pebbles, little drops. Our frequency shifts and adds to the collective. And we need more love, more beauty, more hope, more positivity. And we can do that by anchoring into our self-care practices, by getting on the mat, by utilizing the Unicorn Wellness Studio, and really increasing the frequency. Like, I really do see it as that everybody who becomes a member, everyone I train, every one of my clients, that I am there to help increase and open and blossom your frequency, and that this becomes this ray of light and this energy that helps heal as a collective. So there's all of these bits happening, as a synthesis, synergistically right now. So the movements matter, right? And that the movements absolutely matter. And your meditation super matters right now. But I would give a call out that the food extra matters right now. So after doing the reset, you have more of a baseline, a much more supported system for eating intuitively and knowing what your system will need or not need. It is a synthesis of traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine and sensibilities, along with a basis in paleo because of the gut healing capacity of it. So the things that I am basing the heating and cooling off of are the Ayurvedic and the traditional Chinese medicine. But I'm also an advocate for, if you've gone through it, you've cracked your food code, and you've done some tinkering and you're aware of your system, that you will know better than anybody else what to put in or what not to put in. And here is a guide, but everybody's system is slightly unique. The reset helps give you a baseline that I can help answer to, right? The reason I'm like, do it as it's written, 1, because it works. 2, because then I can help you as a coach. I can go, I know what went in, so I know where to look for the areas in and around the outside of it. So those are where my sensibilities come from a seasonal aspect, from a heating cooling aspect, and also as an autoimmune body, knowing, and my chart, which carries a high intensity of fire in it, that I don't want the heating elements of things, because it will just tip me over and make things worse. So you all will find these things out, or you already know these things. And so again, we're just anchoring into what balances us. Okay. And that there's not one clean, specific answer to anything, but there are ways that succeed more often than not. And there are ways that fail more often than not. And so we want to be in one camp and not the other, and then find our unique details in between there. Okay. Okay. So Lionsgate is big, right? And so we want to make sure that in these past cycles of things, of the eclipse, of this last new moon, that our intentions are clear. The other thing that keeps coming through to share is that we have to play big. We have to ask for more. We need to be louder. We need to be not like risky, not unthoughtful, and reckless about things. But we do need to step into the bigger. What is it that you really want? You got to play big in order to win big, sort of thing. So and this can happen in these tiny and mighty ways. So this Lionsgate portal, again, offers these upswings, offers these breakthroughs, but as a human, you have to put your order in. You got to put your finger on it and go, this is what I want. And here's what I'm willing to do to help get it. And it's more of, I don't know, I keep feeling this, there's been a lot of shackle energy within the eclipses and now, and that these shackles are breaking and really coming off. And before, it really was on our feet, and for years I've talked about tripping over the same damn shoelace, dying on the same damn hill. I teach wellness, right? I've been a coach for over 20 years. So you see how people embark on something new, but man, they fucking die on the same hill over and over. This is breakthrough time. We're being offered another breakthrough of quit dying on the same hill. Make your way over it this time. Pack an extra snack. Take some, take a smoothie this time, kind of thing. Get over it. And so there may have been all of these failures in the past. Things may have not worked in the past, but you have to sit in this moment, especially in the Lionsgate portal, and go, yeah, but I have a lot of information. I may not know what works yet, but I know what doesn't work. So don't do those things anymore, right? You got to get really practical at times about your ascension, about your spiritual practice, about your evolution, about your healing. Because we are human and we are human, the practicality exists. And if we don't deal with those things in balance, we won't get results and we don't get shifts and we don't get breakthroughs. Okay. So from this point forward, you need to be really aware of the hill that you died on multiple times. And what I'm hearing is that it has mostly to do with worthiness, and that you may believe that you deserve things, abundance, relationships, finances, opportunities, but you haven't acted like you do. You haven't presented yourself like you do. And so it's time to present. The shackles have moved off of her feet. That was actually weeks ago. And this with the Lionsgate Portal, I see the shackles of the heart, because Leo energy is heart-centered energy, right? And so it's all of these collective things happening, that it's a big energetic week. There is breakthrough being offered to us, but we can't just sit and expect the breakthrough. We have to put ourselves in service of the universe. You have to set yourself at the altar of the universe. You have to be open and willing for the solutions and the breakthrough. And you also just need to be doing the practical tactics, and the ones that I teach, because the ones that work for me and for my members, and for those who have that witchy sensibility, that unicorn spirit, connected to the divine ethers, very anchored in divine spirit. The tactics that work is getting on the mat, getting into meditation, practicing with the tarot, and cracking your own food code, because they work all the levels, right? They manage your frequency energetically. They stabilize hormones and emotions. They're getting you on the mat and physically and energetically moving out the gunk. Plus, there's Reiki infused healing in every single video. And on top of that, in this week and this month on the site, your guided meditation this month is a healing. So, I mean, it is a guided meditation, but be clear, you're really getting a full healing every time you turn it on. So it's a big deal one. We kind of had a bridge healing last month, and everybody really loved that cleansing meditation. So this month we step a little bit deeper into the cleansing, into the healing, allowing old energies, especially of the heart, to be released once and for all. So I'm just going to give a little unicorn assignment that on the 8th, we all make sure to do that guided meditation together. Really kind of up the frequency of it and kind of up the intention of it. Okay? Okay. So any questions about that? About the astrology? About Lionsgate? About, I don't know, anything. How are you guys feeling? And then we'll move into the weekly reading. Okay? But you guys, I know it's a lot to digest, and it's like, hey, what do you think about that? But you guys need to throw it out there. Let me know who's done the guided meditation, who likes it, who enjoyed it. There's, the crystal, the healing crystal of the month is celestite, and that's a big healer, right? So we're looking at anchoring into these angelic energies, into the celestial realm to help. Because if the Lionsgate is the gateway to heaven, these are celestial energies that are coming through. Be aware that when we have influx of these celestial divine energies, that, there's duality, light and dark. Dark energies they feel it too, and then they push back a little bit harder. So there's always this push-pull kind of happening. So just be clear, as the good stuff swells, you may see a rise of the negative stuff. That doesn't mean stop. It means rest and then keep going, okay? And it's part of the process, kind of the way it goes. Yeah, I mean, Valerie, it's really true. She says she's still trying to find the right words for her universal order. Just when she thinks she's got it, messages change a bit. That's just the way it is right now. And I do feel like it's been that way for a year at least, where you're like, no, I get this very clear. I've got clarity. I'm in my practices. I'm connected. I got clarity. I heard it. I heard it multiple times. And you're supposed to walk down the path, and all of a sudden something, and you're like, well, wait a minute. That's totally different. It's happening over here too. So it is a part of the process. I think, I can't remember when it was, but you know, the volume and the speed of things get turned up as we ascend. And the ascension just means that the higher frequency energies, like we as a person, our ascension process is that we go from this, you know, 3D to 5D, and maybe some of us can tap into the 7 and Lord knows maybe the 9th D, you know, like that our frequency increases and returns to its original set point of healing and love, right? As our soul is designed, as our soul was created. But that process of up leveling, it's like once it starts, then you feel like it gets a little more chaotic because we're all like, you know, the memes say it all. It's like your spirit guides are like, well done, here, let's go again. And you're like, wait a minute, I just figured this piece out. So it's okay. I think that is literally where we're at, or universal order, right? And again, universal order, right? This is our entire universe, the physical vessel, our soul. This is heaven on earth. So the only thing we really can sort and make sense of is us. And then we hope to help each other. We hope to express more love, more empathy, more guidance, more protection. And I think even for me, sometimes the concept of universal order, like, oh, forget it. I'm not even going there because, you know, at its essence, the universe is chaos. So there can be, you know, rails, but what I'm trying to say, Val, is that like, it does change a lot and frequently and quickly lately, even if you were rock solid on what you heard. And so it's okay. We just have to pause and hear the next thing and, you know, find that connection in our gut and our intuition and the practicality of how to navigate through it. There's no way out but through. And so what I can add to that is that I think I've tried to find the absolute solutions in the last few years, but by surrendering to none and just literally trying to do my very best, it goes better. I think, you know, it's a hard one, but it's totally happening, and you're not alone. I mean, it's really about surfing the waves of these energies because they're not going to stop. They're just not. That's not how it works. And so last week, when I was saying that last week, for the majority of the week, was a little sweeter and softer. And we have to really anchor into the sweeter and softer when we can, because the speed at which we are being asked to evolve, that we are being asked to help, that we are asked to be stepped into our biggest self, right? That's Leo energies. Be big, be yourself, be seen, be loud, protect, create a boundary, and go get what is yours, right? And so that's a lot. We just do the best we can, okay? And the post I put up this morning on Instagram, like a little tug in cheek, but it wasn't. It was genuine, and it's me, right? So all I can say is that all we can do is the small things. I have genuinely, literally been through enough trauma in my life that you have to get up and keep going and doing tiny things, not pushing yourself past the limit, allowing yourself to heal and synthesize and to feel sad and to feel angry and to feel deeply, and then do the tiny bits in this functional life and in this incarnation to then go make some progress and evolution. And it does work. So it may be slow, but slow and steady, and change doesn't happen quickly. We think it does. It may feel like it sometimes, but it doesn't. And the issues that we're dealing with as a collective, these have been here for forever. They're just louder. It's like, pardon the, you know, metaphor, but it's like a zit. It's just getting pushed to the top till we can clear it out. So it's always been underground, everything that's happening. So we're a young country, you know, and this is it. So we have to get a wiser perspective on it rather than be capsized by the moment of it. We're allowed to be capsized, but we need to just stay strategic for the long run, even at an emotional and spiritual level. Okay. Oh, good, Sarah. Yeah. So 8/8, a little call out that we all do the mission that day. I'm not going to try to put us on the same timeline for that. Just like as a, you know, unicorn assignment, make sure that we're all doing it on the 8th together. That's all, that we don't miss that day. Okay. Let's get into the weekly reading, shall we? Okay. But ask your questions, make your comments, get your celestite. Here we go. Okay, 5th through 11th of August, this includes the Lionsgate Portal. We're still in Mercury retrograde shadow, and I believe that the shadows are the most intense, the pre and the post. And if you saw, there was an outage in, an Instagram, Facebook outage in the pre-shadow and now again in the post-shadow. Communication, transportation, technology, these are all things affected. We're almost out. We're almost done. But there's so much being offered in this. It's big and it's chaotic. But there's so many solutions, so many good things. You got to take the leap. Step into it, So here we go. For the week of August 5th through the 11th, what does this week have to offer us? Okay, then. Well, I don't lie. Let's put it that way. Sorry, moving you guys. And then the spirit in which to move through it. Oh, the tarot, you guys will see it. This is the Wonderland and Tarot deck. So Alice is still with us. The spirit in which to move through things, Soul Space Oracle deck. Yes. And I'm using it again, the Divine Feminine Oracle deck. So they're not all goddesses, but they are divine women to invoke, to ask for protection, to potentially mimic and embody in this week in order to balance and to get the highest and greatest good out of the energies this week. And so many of these cards are new to me, it's fun. It's fun for me too. Okie dokie. Okay, so I laughed because it's a 5-card spread. There are 3 major arcana cards in the 5-card spread. So this week is big. The energy, the potential is big. I also, after my meditation this morning, I looked over and there was a millipede. So it was like things coming through quickly, finally getting on track, kind of moving along speedily. Speedily, is that a word? This week is looking very similar. So the focus of the week, the theme of the week, where we begin, this is the Strength card, okay? And traditionally, the Strength card, I'm going to Instagram too, is we're on a different, it's just going to look like this, you guys. Here we go. If I hold it back here, everybody can see it. Hooray! The Strength card traditionally is the major arcana card of Leo. So high Leo energy, okay? So this is really where we're at. I mean, this screams to me Lionsgate Portal, right? The Strength card in traditional decks shows a woman who is petting a lion. And so it often has to do with taming our inner anger, our inner spirit, but it's also about empowerment because 8 is the number of empowerment. So it's always rooted in embracing and stepping into our empowerment, right? Playing bigger, getting comfortable in our divine and our celestial nature of our soul, really growing into our soul and understanding that we're valuable, we're whole as we are. People that don't get us, don't get us. The things that don't work out, we're a no, so we need to keep going anyhow. So this is absolutely the theme of the week. This is absolutely on par and on track with the Lionsgate Portal, with the new moon, of asking us to step into our most empowered selves, really express in worthiness, really move through and into playing bigger and taking up more constructive space in the world. In this deck, I find it fascinating too, though, because Alice is holding a deer, right? A deer is prey, right? They're vegetarians. So it's about protecting the sweet things, the simple things, it's about protecting the inner child, right? But deer can also get out of things gracefully, out of the brambles, out of the this, out of the that. So, a moment of pause, a moment of rest, a moment of protection can allow you to get through things smoother. There's a big yes to that. Okay, so this can be how we feel. Like we need to go hide in the dark after this weekend. We need to we got to feel that for a little bit, then we can come out of it. And I think, there's empowerment in that. There's empowerment when knowing when to rest. There's empowerment when knowing it is okay to disappoint other people in order to save yourself and to protect yourself and to care for yourself and to allow yourself to heal and to grow. Okay. Okay. This is like big. Let's see. Okay, so then we have our next best steps forward for our highest and greatest good this week. This is, I laughed, right? You heard me chuckle. This is the Empress. Hello, Empress. So for those of you who are members of unicornwellness.studio, you know that the Empress has just been at play, over and over and over again. This Empress energy is not going away. We need to step into our empowered self, our intuition, our groundedness, our trust, our capacity to create, to find creative solutions, to understand that there are cycles to things, to fuel with excellent and root veggies and greens, Mother Earth, things having to do from, and of the earth. So the next best steps forward for our highest and greatest good is to really, I feel like it's to come face to face with our own Empress energy, where we're willing to be big and strong, yet soft and calm about things. The homework this month for unicorns was to sit in your Empress energy, right? Your power pose for 2 minutes, to sit, rest your ass, sit your ass down, and focus on what you really want to receive, be clear about it, and really just take a moment, take a breath. That empowerment and Leo energy and being big and brave and stepping into your ultimate true self or your next elevation of true self is not always a hustle and a willpower and a do. So the next best step for our highest and greatest good this week is the Empress energy. It's feminine energy, which again, words fail us. It's not about gender. It's about lunar energy, receiving, restoration, rest, and self-care. And I don't remember if it was the monthly or the new moon reading. I don't remember which reading it came out. For those of you who have a membership, the Empress card, I think we talked about Alice. It's the good witch kind of got all kerfuffled, and Alice is straightening her crown forward and straightening up her coat, and it's yeah, oh, she's missing a shoe too. So this is kind of the upset. This is the releasing and letting go, and things didn't go the way it planned, and it's man, I lost my shoe on the way too. But you have your internal, child, you have your curiosity, you have your intelligence, you have your resilience, you have friends, you have unicorn wellness, and you have me at the very least to go, let me just straighten you up. It's okay. Take a breath, have a glass of water. I'll tie your shoe for you. You're going to go back out there and try it again. Right? So there's definitely we got to go back out there and try it again. We need moments of rest. We need to learn how to pause constructively. We need to know how to take care of ourselves, because caring for others as a martyr is trash. It's useless, literally. So we have to know how to take care of ourselves to then go be of use. And sometimes we need a break, and sometimes we need help. And sometimes we need support from others. So maybe that's the next best step this week for our highest and greatest good, is ask for some help. And it kind of feels like sister energy, right? Ask for some help from your friends. Big steps this week towards our highest and greatest good. Hello! The third major arcana card, the Magician. No joke, you guys. If we just stopped with, we have strength, we have the Empress, we have the Magician. The Magician is about manifestation. This is about things truly coming to fruition. And the Magician card says, you have everything you need. You know what it takes in order to manifest. You at least know the theory of it, right? And that then you put it into play. And now, because you're in receiving mode, you're in worthiness and wholeness mode, and you've taken this moment of rest, but you understand that strength includes rest and self-care, that now you're capable of doing this. This is midweek, right? So this would be Lionsgate Portal. Leave the door open for something big to really, truly manifest and finally happen. Manifestation is about balancing, right? All of the elements, earth, air, water, and fire, your meditation practice, your physical practice, the balance of humanity and divinity. And next level of manifestation is not just about setting those wishes and intentions, and not just about having the practices. Your frequency has to vibrate at the rate of what you want to manifest. That's when it happens. And it may take a while, may have taken some years to get to that vibration. Well, it's pointing out that, hey, midweek, something could really come to fruition because you've been putting the time and the work into it, and divine timing is at play. Okay, I hear that also. So some of you have been waiting for timing. It's coming around. Okay, that's big. I mean, that right there is like, all right, assets to this week. This is King of Wands. I love me some King of Wands. Can you guys see it on Instagram? King of Wands, you know, in this deck, he's silly. It's masculine, willpower, energy. It's kind of playful and kind of silly. I always get Sagittarius energy out of this because it's a fire sign, you know? So it's a wise, it can often be a male in our life who really is wise, but seems kind of wacky and eccentric and out there, but he knows how to get things done and he knows how to manifest things. So it's like he can take time to play and to be silly, right? Because he's so clear and so focused. So wands are about bravery and courageousness and really stepping in and taking risks and taking chances. And so I just hear out of this card that there's a benefit to this, that you either have somebody in your life or you're becoming that person for yourself, or at least this week, the energy is there to like be silly, have some playtime like the Leo season asks us to do, but also be focused and be willing and brave and courageous to step into that next level of wisdom of manifestation. Because fire wands, these are firepower, this is magic, this is manifestation. So there's a benefit to it. Either you're growing some of that masculine energy in yourself, or you've got someone in your life that fills that place for it, that brings balance to it. So all in all, it's a benefit. The outcome of the week. I mean, you guys, especially for the unicorns, especially for those who are members at unicornwellness.studio, because you guys get the new and the full moon tarot readings, there's more levels of play, and you all see and hear the repetition of magic in that. Outcome of the week, Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, man, she is a master at generating resources, time, money, and energy. These are all things. It's not just money. She knows how to collect. She knows how to wait. She knows how to get by in the cycles that are kind of down. And then she plans and she strategically engages and takes the risk and the leap for the big wins, right? So let's get that a little closer. Kind of, there we go. But Queen of Pentacles, outcome. Hello. Yes, please. Mastery of how to generate resources or how to keep them, right? Again, time, money, energy. We have the spirit in which to move through things. So beautiful and so sweet this week. My tree. So this is loving kindness. And this is loving kindness for the self. So I feel like, hello self-care. Hello arm's length. If you missed the first part of this video, I talked a lot about, you may need to keep people at arm's length at least these first 3 days of this week, because it's Libra and making decisions is hard and tender and like, ugh. So loving kindness means give yourself the grace that you would give your best friends or your children or the person that you love most in this world. Give yourself the grace you'd give your pets, right? I mean, this is where the falsity of a spiritual practice and doing for others comes in, is like, we're willing to do for others, but we will sell ourselves down the river first. No. So rest and self-care, get on the mat, fuel yourself, take the time you need, reach out for what you need, ask for what you need, recruit help, or if what you need is a little space and quiet, honor that this week. This is what this week is all about. Oh, she was in your poll today too? The Empress is like, man, she's just all over it this week. Oh, I matched the strength card. Thanks, Mama. It's a really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful week. So our last card out of this week before we run out of time on Instagram too, we can get it all in an hour. Hooray. I'm totally going to pronounce this incorrectly because I've never seen this before. Inanna, the High Priestess. Hello. I am one with my soul, and soul is a legacy of love. Yes. Trying to get to where Instagram can see it first, which means I'm leaning to the side. Okay, so let me read the book that goes, this is out of the Oracle deck. And then I'll see if I can pronounce it properly again, or if it has pronunciation in here. Inanna. Is that right? Okay, let's see what she's got to say. Last week, the Divine Feminine deck, man, gave us some beautiful goodies. Let's see what it has this week. In Hejuana embodies the ability to become one with our soul, to live at our highest purpose. Born in Mesopotamia during the Akkadian Empire around 2285 BCE. Eduana is considered not only the first known female poet, but also the first named literary author in history. That's cool. It is believed that Enheduanna was the daughter of the Sumerian king Sargon of Akkad. She was given the title of En, which signified her tremendous political power. Sargon of Akkad named her the high priestess of the most important temple in summer, and she was high priestess of summer. And she was charged with the lofty task of melding the Sumerian gods and goddesses with the Akkadian ones to create stability in the empire. And Hejuana composed 42 hymns. Her most famous works are titled The Exultation of Inanna, the Sumerian Temple Hymns, and the Sumerian Temple Hymns. Her hymns were copied and used long after her death and considered immensely valuable, equal to the inscription of kings. She is credited with creating the structure of poetry, psalms, and prayer that are then used throughout the ancient world. Her hymns influenced and inspired the prayers and psalms of the Hebrew Bible and the Homeric epics. It is believed that Enheduanna reached a semi-divine status in her lifetime and that she was considered to be the embodiment of the Sumerian goddess Inanna. When your soul selects her card, over 4,000 years ago, the high priestess Enheduanna wrote the Exultation of Inanna, most precious lady, beloved by Anne, your holy heart is great. And in the Sumerian temple hymns, whatever enters you is unequaled, whatever leaves endures. She is the limitless love and the inexhaustible power that moves through us when we merge with the soul. Yes. We each have a personal myth. We each have an Ishtadiva, a personal deity who inspires and compels us to bring heaven right here on earth by moving us with the fierce conviction that we're divinely led. And Hejuana encourages us to integrate our light and our dark to bring our unconscious aspects of self into consciousness. The light priestess is often described as the guardian of the unconscious. She is the aspect of all that holds the veil of awareness that separates us from inner depths. And Hejuana is about merging the awareness of our soul and all the love and power it gives us with our individual personality or ego, what Swiss psychologist Carl Jung would call personality 1 and personality 2. And Hejuana wants you to live and breathe your soul. She wants you to become so intimate with that there is no longer any separation and there are no more excuses or apologies for how powerful you are. You guys, this card, yes. You are the high priestess. You are this eternal, she whispers. Your holy heart is this legendary. Yes. Soul voice meditation. What allows me to experience the reality of my soul? Intention. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. Yes. Okay. So if you all wouldn't mind clicking the like button here on YouTube, that brings us to the end of the hour. That is, yes, that is the card of the week. So remember to, little prayers, little meditations, little invocations, ask for guidance, ask for protection from Enheduanna, and really, this idea of divine balance, right? This is what I hope to help you with, is that we are a spiritual being having a physical experience. This is heaven on earth, and the integration of the soul with the physical vessel is what we're here to do. We're only here to balance humanity and divinity, and that looks like a lot of things, but it can get really practical on the mat, in the kitchen, in meditation, and in the cards, and the rest rolls out so much more magically and so much more serendipitously, the way that it's supposed to, with more ease and less fight in it. All right. So huge card for the week. I feel like so appropriate, so beautiful. I mean, it's really high priestess energy and empress and strength and the magician. What? So as we close out today, I just say that if you missed the beginning of this, go back and watch it in the replay on Instagram in the next 24 hours, or it'll be available on YouTube in perpetuity. I love you all so much. Oh, you did, Sarah. You got the deck. That's awesome. that there's so much being offered this week. And so the biggest thing I can offer you all to help balance it, to guide it, to work with it, is to get in Unicorn Wellness Studio. That guided meditation this month is a healing. It is a healing every time you press play. So it's bigger than our typical meditations, and that the movement patterns there are curated and cultivated to help manage these energies so that we can utilize this for healing, for the highest expression of our soul, to help the collective, to move the energetic, ascension along, and to help in the process. This is a big deal. So please, if you're not a subscriber on the YouTube channel, please subscribe to this channel. Please click the like button. I really appreciate it. I want to say an extra thank you. I meant to say it at the beginning of the hour. Last month was one of our biggest months for new members on the site. Like, all the gratitude and gratefulness for it. Thank you for those who have taken the leap to become members. There's always a code on the site to try for 30 days free, but if you use the code GimmeDeBand, I'll have it in Instagram and on YouTube, you all get a resistance band as well as your first 30 days free on the site. I'm proud of you for making the leap. I'm so grateful that you're willing to trust me as your teacher, even for a trial period of time. So I hope more of you are willing to make the leap, because it's powerful, important, and really sneaky work. It seems like, hey, it's just a workout. Hey, it's just a meditation. It is your ascension, and it manages it in a much more beautiful, easy to digest way for the physical body. Magic and frequency increase when you get on the mat. Okay? So I love you all so very much. And I'm so proud of us for hitting the time limit, just right on here. Next week, you can join me. Same unicorn time, same unicorn channel. Next week will be our full moon ritual. So it'll be an hour and a half, because the end of next week is the full moon. I mean, time. What? Flying by. But if you need anything, if you have questions, you can DM me. You can message me here. I love you all so very much. I'm so proud of you. My unicorns, those of you who are members, you're doing the work. I see you. I see you. I see you healing. I see you changing. I see your frequency shifting, and I see it and I feel it in your readings. When you guys book one-on-one with me, it is one of the most special, connecting energies, because I feel you all. And you all are powerful. And honestly, you're more powerful than you realize, which is kind of the coolest thing, because you find your wellness home, and then you start to brew this, frequency, and things really shift and change. I'm seeing you all start your own businesses. I'm seeing you all leave relationships that haven't been useful for you. I'm seeing you embark on new relationships. I'm seeing you just comfortable in your skin, with the capacity and the feeling of change, but with pure empathy at the same time. It's truly magical. So thank you all very, very much. Again, I'll have the links up, and I'm always here. You can always ask questions, and I will see you next Monday. And please click the like button. I really appreciate it. And if you would share the content with those in your community, it's a really powerful conduit of change and a support system to understanding the energies at play, working with them rather than being capsized by them. Okay? So, no, I try to keep to my 1 hour. So I'm going to see you guys next week for an hour and a half. I love you all very much, and I will see you next time. Bye, you guys.